It's that time again. What's up, everybody? This is Dads Lads Kebabs. Hope you enjoy the show. Deuces.
Boom, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Dads, Lads and Kebabs. Good evening, Miki, sir. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm okay, Niall. Thank you for asking. It's very, very kind of you. Ready for another week of this lovely month of February, and it's nearly March, and then we go into April, and it just carries on.
Do you know what happens? You know what happens, don't you? At the end of April.
Yeah, you enter May.
Go into May.
Fuck yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what happens at the end of May because then, well, who knows?
Who knows? Will we get to May? Fuck knows.
Not if that asteroid bloody hits.
Asteroid.
Asteroid.
Have we got an Armageddon? Is Bruce Willis going to go up there and drill a hole in it?
No, mate, he forgot.
Oh, you can't say that.
Oh, thanks. I love Bruce, so I can't say that. Oh.
People used to call me Bruce Willis, and I shaved my head. First time.
Bruce Willis. Jump about Willis.
That's a slightly different person, but hey
You can't talk about him, Gary Coleman, anymore, can you? Was he bad? Did he turn out to be a weirdo?
What, like Bill Crosby? Don't know.
Yeah, Gary Coleman.
Gary Coleman is that little Willis man, wasn't he?
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah. In Different Strokes, wasn't it? I used to love watching that.
Different Strokes, man. Honestly, if you're here and you don't know what TV show Different Strokes is, then well, you're too young.
Yeah, bitch. Go watch it on YouTube. I'm sure it's there.
How's your week been, boss? Are you good?
My week's been pretty busy, to be fair, and we got another, probably the busiest week I've had at work, starting today for this week. So hopefully, fingers crossed, send prayers and thoughts to poor Miki that this week we succeed, we smash it, as always, and achieve our goals that are set out to us.
Oh, that is very motivational.
It is motivating, is it? It's
honestly.
It's positive. What's the matter with me?
It's very, oh God. That was very motivational speaker. This week I've got a busy week. I'm going to smash my goals. We're going to have a week. I'm going to fucking have it, son.
Last week I was in bed with Satan, fucking on the negativity train. And this week I'm riding an angel. So yeah. Whoop, whoop.
Whichever way you want to look at that, people, Mickey's telling the truth.
She said yes, all right.
Oi. But yeah, you good. You good though, yeah? How's your health?
Health is good. Yeah, I think so. I feel good. Ice bath is... I went in the ice bath on Thursday. Like, it'd been a week since my last one. And that was a bit... At the moment, I'm doing one a week. So, for various reasons, like commitments and stuff. And it's very difficult every week, just doing it once. It used to be twice a week. It was not too bad. It's like, oh, back in again. But you have like the 7 or 8 days, and it's like, oh...
It's such a build-up, isn't it, as well? It's such a mental build-up to do it.
I get a little bit of anxiety of going in there. And like, it's like, you know, them things like you don't want to do it. Like you don't want to go and meet your friend that you don't like, or you have to do something you don't want to do. And it's just like, but you know, you can do it. Like as soon as you're in there, it's fine. As soon as I'm under the water, it's easy.
It's that step, isn't it? It's that thought process of going, I need to do this, and now I've got to do it.
Yeah, I have to do it because there you go.
And I think, do you know what? I think that's why one of the positive sides of it is because it's not just about the physical ice bath itself, but the mental challenge of physically telling yourself you're going to have to put yourself through something you really don't want to do. And I always said to you before, if that's the hardest thing that you're going to do that day, is force yourself to get in there, then the rest of the day is not going to be that bad.
No, and I do definitely agree with the logic involved with that. But yeah, it is, you know, it is a bit mundane. Get my phone out, film a little bit, put it on the side, so then I take the lid off and stuff, and then put my gloves on, take my robe off, take my Crocs off, and then it's like, right, and you go one leg in, second leg in, start my timer, and then sit down in the water. I think it's just like, ha 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 ha.
Wait till mid-August comes and you'll be like, I'm doing it. It's fine. I'll do it.
I don't even know if I'm going to do it in the summer, to be fair. It's going to be really difficult to keep clean with the algae if it's hot. It's in the shade, but I just don't know what it's going to look like. Plus, it's going to be warm, I reckon.
Just don't drink it.
No, but it's full of chlorine anyway. But I don't know. I mean, it might be nice to cool down if it is hot.
Mm-hmm.
My dad said he's going to jump in it, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. So I might, fair play to Dad, But it would just be warm water. It won't be an ice bath then.
A warm bath.
Yeah, like a hot tub with no bubbles.
You can make the bubbles.
Oh, no thanks.
Cool. So,
but yeah,
busy week for you. You're good.
Yeah. How's your week been?
Good. Yeah, not too. So start of the week, pothole. Lost the tyre.
Yeah, we spoke about that last week.
Oh yeah, so that happened. Slipped on the decking. Because your decking over winter is just slimy.
Yeah.
I thought I need to go to the recycling centre. So I thought I've got loads of cardboard I need to get rid of. So I've been stashing it out, and I thought I'll go and get it. And as I just grabbed like 2 big boxes full of it, started walking back towards the back door, and then just went, woo, legs in the air, lower cockpit, and just was like,
oh.
But I made a noise that I've never made before.
He squeaked
when
he hit the floor.
It was like a ooh, like sort of like I wanted to be sick at the same time.
Oh.
And I was in shock more than anything. Like I'm fine. Like I think I hurt my pride more than anything. But for a couple of days, like I had like a bit of twinge in my neck, and then my lower back was hurting every time I was bending down. I was like, oh fuck, and I was like, no, that's how backs get caused. You do a stupid injury like that, and then you've got it for 20 years. And I was like, I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to do. Luckily, I put some of the ibuprofen gel on it a couple of times, and it's been fine.
Yeah.
It's fine now. So, but at the time, incredibly scary, because I was like, I full on hit the deck, and was like, boom. So that shook me up for a little bit. Shook me up. All in all, though, pretty good week. Really good eating wise. Eating really clean this week. Yeah. Had 3-4 days of tuna this week. 1 meal a day. 1 meal a day. Friday I had 2 meals. 1 meal a day 4 days of the week. Had a big tuna salad. So I'm doing this whole Matthew McConaughey's tuna salad. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, no.
Do you like tuna? Are you a tuna fan?
It's alright. In the past, I used to have it every day. Yeah.
Yeah. So his like recipe is like you basically get everything that's left over in the fridge, like, and that could be like some bacon, some onion, some sweet corn, and just make a really nice tuna salad. I've just been having that, and I've been having this on these. Oh God, let's just call them pieces of cardboard because that's exactly what they are. So I've been having that with 2 of those, bowl of tuna. However, I went for the most painful poo I've ever had in my life this week.
He had a Michael Keto poo.
So I went. So I hadn't
screamed.
Been in. Yeah. I think I cried.
Ow!
I got to the point where I was like, oh, I don't think I want to shit anymore. I think I just want to push it back in. But I got to the point where it was, do you know where you're too far gone? You've just got to get through the pain of it. But it was...
Keep pushing. Keep pushing
astronomically big. But I was like, I could feel. I was like, this is not good. So then I was like, oh, this is really sore. So that was bad. But I hadn't been in like 2 days, so it was sore. Probably the worst shit I've ever had. You know, I'll take ring sting over fucking painful shits any day. And I don't know where it's come from in terms of, is it just a healthy eating? Yeah, just sore, man.
Hello.
Just
A couple of minutes.
how them boys in prison put phones up their jacksy, I do not know. iPhone chargers and you know.
With the pins out.
That's what I mean. Can you imagine it was like one of these, you know, like one of these styles of chargers where it's like you put it in and it's like, then you just push it down and it goes.
Oh, and it gets stuck, it won't come out.
Oh,
Fuck that.
So painful shit. But no, all in all, pretty normal-ish week. Been doing well. Just done some motorway driving this afternoon, so I'm very, very tired.
Yeah.
But
fair play.
Stayed in a hotel last night. So
yeah.
Stayed at Hilton. Lovely, of course, obviously. Had dinner at the restaurant was attached to the hotel that we're staying at. And the restaurant was Marco Pierre White's restaurant, Steakhouse and Grill. It's not.
Okay.
You might go, ooh. I bet you used restaurants before. They're shit. Quote me. They're shit.
Okay.
Burger. I had a burger. It was average. Don't get me wrong. It was okay. But I had a burger on its own with lettuce and stuff. So you know, it was all right. But anyway, so we stayed at this hotel. We stayed at Hilton. It was all right. Nice room, cozy, all that. Anyway, it was really busy when we got there. And we was like, before dinner, we thought we'll go for a little walk around. Had a little walk around. Anyway, it said convention 1 this way, convention 2 this way. I was like, oh, there's conventions on. Let's go and have a little nose, see what they are. Right. Big hall, first convention was the annual Climbers Association winter convention. Basically, a bunch of walkers in, you know, plastic jackets and climbing trainers and, you know, watching some old bloke do a PowerPoint about all the walks they've been on that year.
Nice. We like that, Niall.
Cool. Anyway, second convention was even bigger. You had a table full of soft drinks and everything, so I was thinking, oh, see if I can go nab some of these. Anyway, we walk in to the second convention. Was the annual Warhammer Collection Edition fucking convention. Basically, a load of, I'm going to say 90% blokes in a room, all with their, you know what Warhammer is, don't you?
No.
You know, remember there used to be a shop on Welly Road at the bottom, where, you know, the game workshop where they paint figurines.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Where they like paint like Lord of the Rings figurines and they
yeah.
Big battle arenas
and soldiers and stuff, the little metal ones. Yeah.
It was one of them massive convention. I mean, 100 people in a room, all playing with little figurines.
100 virgins then.
Yeah, literally, my words exactly was, "This room smells of virginity," and it was proper energy drink. Monster drinking, beer, beards and black t-shirts.
Can we just say we do not wish to offend any virgins out there or any little soldier painting people that like to do that? I'm sure some of you have wives and you've had intercourse in the past, so fair play to you. It's just a generic saying, you know. People with boring hobbies generally don't get laid, so just putting out there, disclaimer now. Thank you so much. We're not doctors, don't sue us. Thank you and enjoy the show. We have to do that every time now because people abuse us now, and I'm getting fed up with getting told off.
What, we've been told off again?
I don't know, probably.
Oh mate, why? We're quite good. We're not like, you know, some of the podcasts out there this day and age are getting told off and being called off YouTube.
Yeah.
Fair play to that woman, by the way. Fair play. I don't even want to talk about it, but fair play to that woman.
With them 3 blokes. I saw that. They're fucking cruel, man.
Oh.
That's cruel, not cool.
they deserve it all that's coming to them. They deserve it because they're fucking evil. Evil fucking
Disgusting how they treated her.
And it's all out of pure jealousy. It's all out of...
Because she's making coin, that's why. And she's buying houses for everybody. All the homeless people and that. Doesn't matter how she gets the money, but...
Do you know what? Fair play to her. Fair play to
Yeah.
her for ripping him a new one, because I'm telling you now, like, people like that do stuff like that, they're doing it out of pure jealousy for what somebody has. I fucking can't stand them. Anyway, don't want to give them any more airtime, because one thing that happens to shows like that is the more you talk about them, the more airtime they get, because people feel to go and watch them, so...
Yeah.
Don't even remember their name.
No. They're all criminals.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's good. It's a good week.
That's alright then.
How's the car? Is it fixed yet?
What, with my window?
Yeah, you fixed
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that was fixed the next day, yeah.
Oh, so it's
Yes, it was, yeah, it was good. Oh,
Good.
touch
Good.
wood.
Good.
So good in the hood.
It's fixed.
Yeah.
Did you insurance it? You claim on insurance?
No, I paid.
How much you pay?
1, 5, 0.
Okay. I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy.
Good. You didn't tell me out there, did you? No.
He knows a guy, knows a guy, he knows a guy. Might have smashed your window. And has got a nice pair of gloves if you want them.
Fuck you, Niall. Up your tyre pops again. You cunt.
Don't, because it will anyway.
Just
Honestly,
drive on the road.
I go to the same garage at the bottom of my street to get my tyres done. And the guy, when I go in now, he says to me,
He laughs.
he comes in and goes, "You here for another tyre?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here for another tyre. Just put it on, don't talk to me about it. Just put it on." I'm like, "Is it still £75 for a tyre?" "Yeah." I'm like, "Put it on." So yeah. Go on, Mickey. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Fair
Talk
play.
Talk to me, Terry.
I've got into criminal stuff.
Oh, what? Like you in a gang?
Yeah.
Oh.
I bought that.
Oh wait, which one is it? Rise of Foot Soldier, 6th film. Oh, it's the 6th film collection.
The 6th film. Yes, because I've never watched Rise of the Foot Soldier, but I'd listened to the podcast from Dodge, Terry Stone, Liam Tufts, and they've all had a few of the people that are involved in the old Essex boys shooting and Rise of the Foot Soldier films, and I thought they sound well good. So I decided to, because some of them are on Prime. I watched the first one, the third one, and the 6th one on Prime for free. But the other 3 I had to pay for on Paramount Plus. That was like linked in with Prime, and I thought I'm not paying that. So I bought that on DVD. So I've now watched the second one. I just need to watch 4 and 5.
Oh, so you've watched them in like, well, to be honest,
Quick succession.
The films anyway, they don't. You can watch them. You can just watch them as they are because they're different storylines.
Yeah, they don't follow on. They mainly the end of the films all lead to the same place again.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, fucking sick films. Terry Stone and I can't remember the guy that plays Pat Tate in it. What's he called?
He's that bloke who used to be on EastEnders, the big fuck off unit, isn't he?
Yeah. I can't remember his name. He's on the tip.
Oh, so that's probably here. Craig Fairbrass, isn't it?
Craig Fairbrass, yeah.
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 Yeah, him. If you watch it on YouTube.
He's in any films I've seen him in, he's really really
violent.
Some people don't. Yes, well, he's violent, yeah. But I like it. I like the style of films. I really like that style of film. It's a good British style of gangster movie. And I get it. People don't associate Britain and gangland, but the thing is that it has got a massive, notorious past for gangsters in the UK.
Oh yeah, definitely. In the old days, like in the 90s, with all the rave scene and the drugs and the nightclubs and the famous doorman. Before you had to have a license to be a doorman, you know, they'd hire their mate and they'd get all the blokes from their local rugby club or the gym who were fucking pumped up on steroids to come and be a doorman.
Yeah.
And they'd do their drugs from there. And
It was. Oh, in fact, all the films. I'm thinking of them all now, and I'm putting them all together. I think the Marbella one's my favourite. The one where.
That's 4, isn't it? I've not seen that yet.
Oh, okay. The Marbella one's my favourite. I mean, they always end up in Marbella. What is it with British? I could have talked to a British gangster and go, "What is it about Marbella?" Marbella, Sergio tracksuits, and you know.
Adidas sliders.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And do you know the Fred Perry leather bag?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it all started for me. I think my first British gangster movie was The Business with Danny Dyer.
Yeah, looking back now, Danny Dyer was a little boy, wasn't he? Like quite skinny and little for them sort of films. Yeah.
Young in that film, very young in that film. So that gave me the taste, but then a lot of those actors have followed on. In fact, no, before that, I've got to say Lock, Stock was probably my first taste of sort of British criminal.
Yeah.
Film.
And then Snatch.
Yeah, Snatch didn't follow on for a long time, though. That was quite a few years later.
No, Guy Ritchie films, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie films, and then there was films with Ray Winston in, like
Sweeney.
Yeah, Scum. You know, remember the film Scum?
Yeah, Scum. Yeah, all brutal.
A lot of the football hood, like Cass and all that sort of stuff. And
Green Street, football hooligans.
Green Street was cringe. So Green Street was a bit
with Frodo.
I would say Green Street was good. It had a nice storyline. It was good. Football Factory was more raw. Did you see that? Yeah. But again, there's a difference in there because there's like you've got Gangland films, which was was about the Essex Boys and all the Rise of the Foot Soldier. Anthology, whatever, how many films there is.
6.
There's a new one coming out? I know there's a new one. Is there a
not that I know of. Number 6, that's on Prime. That is Vengeance.
Yeah, Vengeance. Yeah, I've seen that one. That's got an old EastEnders actor in it as well. A lot of old British actors in it. But yeah.
I think because they grew up in their real lives around that sort of thing. They're a lot of them from London, and obviously like the Essex. So people that don't know about what the Essex Boys is, it was a famous gangland shooting on the 6th of December 1995. It's the famous blue Range Rover, wasn't it? The old style Range Rover, and it was down an old country lane. It was a meet up for a drug deal. That was these 3 men called Tony Tucker, Pat Tate, and Craig Rolfe were set up. Now some people say it was
allegedly. You have to say allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly set up.
Allegedly.
Yeah, the police supposedly were involved, but Mickey Steele and Jack Holmes were convicted of the killings of these 3 gentlemen. Shotgun to the face. Nice way to go, apparently. So it was very graphic, along with everything they do. But if you believe what the films show, they were all very violent. Anything they did, there was, if you looked at them wrong, you'd have like no arm left, and you'd have your teeth smashed in, and very, very brutal. And maybe that's how they lived. They lived on fear a lot of the time in them days, didn't they? Back in the day, to do their drugs and the doors and stuff.
I mean, from what I've seen, it is all about reputation. I know the old Dorman game is all about reputation of your firm, and even late 2000s. And from what I know, is that the Dorman game was a sort of very, these doors are mine. We're coming in, we're taking those doors. It was a very vicious, violent game. But then, I don't know. I wasn't around in that era. For me, I like that era. I like the old classic Mercedes, and the whole men used to wear suits to clubs and all that sort of stuff. And
yeah, that's what it was like. Yeah,
back in those days. So when did it happen again? December what?
95.
December 95. So how old were you in December 95?
I was just Christmas time in my final year at school.
Okay.
So I left in '96. So I was currently 16 at that time.
Okay, so a few years later, then you were going out when probably doormen were still wearing full suits.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going out clubbing and seeing, but you
Not
didn't.
now. Not they haven't got a donkey jacket on and a bloody big armband now. They used to wear like full suits back in the day.
Yeah, proper suit. Yeah.
And you knew that, like, you knew there were no trouble. In clubs when doormen were like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they looked after you, and not to fuck about. But then it's weird though, because the thing I love about podcasts is I would never have known anything about these sort of times, the crimes that went on, all the stories, all the films, without listening to a podcast. Because I was going out clubbing at these time when these things were happening, when those two gentlemen got convicted in '98. They got given life, and actually one of them came out this month, was released after his life term. Mickey Steele come out, I believe. He come out this month, which is a bit. Like, I was doing some research on it all, and I thought, he's just been released. It's like, wow. The other bloke, Jack, I don't know. I doubt they'd fucking do it, to be fair. But
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you might talk about it. I know, obviously, like you said, some of the actors have done probably a lot of extensive homework into that whole side of gangland. Surely, like Terry Stone, for example, great actor.
He plays Tony Tucker in the films, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he plays it like from. I don't know, but he portrays the character very well. But he's also, from a lot of podcasts that he's probably done his homework a lot and probably quite familiar around that sort of scene.
Well, he does his own Criminal Connection podcast, doesn't he? So he's had about 3 or 4 of the doormen that used to work with Tony and all that, and Pat Tate, and I actually thought he knew them, but I'm not sure if he did or not, because he was around doing the rave scene. He was doing the rave magazines and doing the doors and all that sort of stuff. So they might have crossed paths at some point.
He was good friends with Dave Courtney, wasn't he, as well?
Yes, yeah. Dave helped him a lot.
I think I seen a photo the other day of him, of like the younger, when men used to wear leather jackets. Did you own a leather jacket?
Yeah, I've still got one. I don't wear it, but I still have one. Yeah.
I don't know. Like that was always the gangster image for me. Men that wear leather jackets. Like the whole not like the tight biker jackets, but like the big ones with the big collars and.
Yeah, I've got one of them, and it goes down to like above your knee.
Yeah.
The long, thin ones that go down. Yeah. I've had a couple of them. I've still got one.
When men used to wear them, they were like you knew they were like never. They just knew they were hard.
Well, if you punch someone in a leather jacket, they're probably not really feeling it for a start. But it's the old days. I mean, we look at it now and we like not idolize it, but like we celebrate it as if to say, it's an amazing story. But I suppose if you're involved in it and you knew these people that were allegedly not nice people, it must have been quite a scary time. I mean, you got Carlton Leach that is still alive. He was involved with all that. He was good friends with Tony Tucker. He refuses to do any podcast. He doesn't do anything. There's been I've seen lots of podcasts as well that have said they've tried to reach out to him, and he's declined all of them. And he's saying a lot of people just talk bullshit. I've seen some like YouTube shorts.
I imagine they do. But unless you're in that circle at that time, you don't know. You can be. You can always be. It's Chinese whispers, right? And you at the same time, you can't blame somebody for going. Do I really want to talk about the younger years of my life that were, not quite as nice as I am trying to be now? I'm sure he's an elderly gentleman that's trying to just live a quiet life. Is he going to want to drag up a load of stuff that happened 30 years ago?
Yeah. Probably not, to be fair. He's got to think of his current family, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, and I imagine, like you said, none of it was nice, and it was all, it all involved.
It was all
It all involved money and crime and drugs, in business and all that jazz.
Uh,
You can't imagine that it was probably as the problem is we glamorize it. Those films are epic film, like most films. You could take it back to other massive shows. Look at, for example, fucking Peaky Blinders, for example. People idolize the clothing and the haircuts and the lifestyle, but then those men back then that had literally nothing were willing to die for money.
Yeah.
Or slashing someone with razor blades or whatever they were doing. It's all crime. It's all crime, right? At the end of the day, and I'm sure the punishments back then were worse than what they are now. And crime families as well. They were always a big thing for me. I always loved watching. I mean, I love criminal documentaries. I love crime documentaries. Something about it fascinates me because at the end of the day, well, it depends what kind of crime they're doing, but gangsters aren't doing it for, they're not doing it for they're doing it for money.
They're not doing it for fame or notoriety. They're just doing, like you say, that's their job. That's how they get their money, and they do whatever to keep it going.
Did you ever see the film American Gangster with Denzel Washington?
Yes, yeah. When he took over everything, yeah. He
took over everything, and he had one mistake that made him look really, his wife bought him that chinchilla coat, and he always dressed really plain, and that's what got him caught, was the fact that he was being too loud.
Yeah,
about it.
Showing off.
Yeah, showing off.
Drawing attention.
I get, for me, there could be people out there there could be people out there in stately homes that you don't know that they're actually notorious into criminality, but you wouldn't know because you'd think they're farmers or whatever they are. But that criminal side of it is it's big.
Yeah, but maybe in 10, 20 years time there'll be another story that comes out about a crime family or a situation or a murder, and all the little other parts that you don't think are connected, and they all start coming towards it, and then the story comes out, and then a film will come out, and everyone will be like, oh wow, that's amazing, like they do with the Essex boys shootings. It's just how it is in the time, in the moment. It's a tragedy, it's horrible, it's really sad, or some people are happy that some people are dead because they're horrible people. But in 10, 20 years time, that storyline changes, doesn't it? How you look at it changes.
It moves, of course, it moves with time, and I guess at the time it was huge and it was all over newspapers, and because it was technically horrific crime, Range Rover down a country lane with people in the back with their heads blown off. That's horrific. But the truth is, reality, stuff like that's happening in London as we speak.
Yeah, probably it does.
And is it reported as much? It's only because at the time, like you said, at the time, it was horrific. Crime was, when things like that were happening, 2 weeks before Christmas and something like that happens, and then, it's publicised, or it's gangland, and it's this and that, and it's probably because guns are involved, and back then, and, back when the sawn-off shotguns were... Do gangsters still use sawn-offs? I'd love to know.
I don't know. I'm not a gangster.
I don't understand the whole sawn-off thing. I don't get it. Is it because it's easier to carry? Do you think?
Yeah, they just chop the front off. You got the long barrel.
Yeah.
You don't carry like a 4-foot gun around. You carry like a 2.5-foot gun instead.
But surely, isn't that? I don't know. Surely that's more dangerous because it's got. Does it make more damage? I don't know.
I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so. I reckon it's just they've just chopped the barrel, made it shorter. It still comes out the same hole.
I get it. It must be more of a. It must be more of a. I don't know, easier thing to maneuver. Like you said,
put it in the coats. They're long coats.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Gentleman film? Or the Netflix TV series?
Yeah, The Gentleman. Yeah.
Yeah, with Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
In the film, anyway. Yeah. Fucking love that film.
That whole East End gangster.
It's always East End, isn't it? It's all like.
Well, the Craze was it. Well, I mean, not the
Craze.
East End, but then obviously the Essex boys were like Fucking
West End.
proper
Essex is no, they're easy, isn't it? Yeah, West is left. Yeah, Essex is right. Yeah.
Dagenham and all that, and
Yeah.
all those places. You know, Southend. Go down to Southend for jelly deals and pie and mash and all that jazz.
And liquor, yeah.
Have you ever had pie and mash and liquor?
No. My dad has, because my mum and dad are from Essex. So
it's nice. It's like a parsley sauce.
Is that what the green stuff is? The liquor.
Yeah, it's like a syrup. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But then I like that whole. There's a whole different side. You know, like the old generation of, like, do you know the Craze film with Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
Like how families were back then. You know, like when people used to get dressed up to go to the pub on a Friday night.
Yeah. Proper suit and tie.
And I don't mean gangsters or anybody, but everybody knew each other, and they're like, "Hello, Mo, you all right? Hello." You know, like people knew each other. People knew, you know, it was nice to see you, and they'd sit in a pub and probably drink beer and smoke cigarettes all night and just have a laugh or sing, or, you know, back when life was easy.
And you get your woman up and dance. Exactly. When they got the dress on and all that. And if you had a problem with a bloke, you'd tell him and you'd punch each other, and then that'd be it, done. Your mates would help you up and you'd shake hands and, you know, you'd have a pint.
So, yeah, I do. I definitely. The thing is, we just see that in films now. I mean, God, man. People, when I was a kid, I was in pubs as a kid, and I remember being in a pub as a kid with parents, and they're like, kids would just be in the corner with a can of Coke and some crisps, and my parents would, you know, my mum at the time and her husband or whatever, they'd party the night out, party the night away. The kids were just left in the corner or running around the pub, fucking around or doing whatever. And then, you know, you'd end up leaving there in a taxi or something. But I remember doing that as a kid. I remember people used to get really dressed up to go out and that sort of stuff. And I guess that's the imagery of it all. I
think it's all about respect, wasn't it? You know. You respected yourself to be dressed up as best you could. Nice shiny shoes, you know, ladies looking nice. No short little skirts and crop tops with your boobs and your fanny out anymore, like you do nowadays.
Times have changed, mate. Times have changed. I don't know. I guess back then they had like all big curls and.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, that's what it's like. Back then, it wasn't. It was respectful and.
But them hoes were still doing anything for a gram of Coke, you know.
Yeah, I know, but that was behind the door, and now it's in front of the door. Now it's in fucking Tesco on the fucking fruit and veg aisle.
Saying that, I've never really understood cocaine though. How people really, really glamorize it. I mean, I've worked in pubs and I've worked in bars, and I've seen a lot of people. From what I've seen at cocaine, people go into a toilet, they pour it on the back of the toilet, or they pour it on a credit card in a toilet and shove it up their nose.
Yeah. And
I've also seen people that, like, because I've heard that people get like explosive diarrhea and all that from bad coke. I don't know, but I don't understand the effects of it. I don't really understand.
Makes you focus, doesn't it?
People say if you're drunk, cocaine will level you out. Like it will put you, and I don't get that. But then I don't really, like I said, I'm not a massive drinker, so for me it's like I used to love going out. I used to love getting dressed up, going out, but I don't understand why it has to come into it. And the thing is, those people that do it on a Friday and Saturday, and then all of a sudden it'll be bank holiday weekend, so then they'll do it on a Sunday, and then all of a sudden they're doing it on a Monday night after work, and then eventually they're doing it daily. Because do you remember Mickey Flanagan said, like, it went from being a high class drug to builders?
Yes.
That is very true. It is very true that there were literally people that a lot of the people they were coming in dressed in their work gear still, having a few pints, and then getting
on the gear.
Getting on the gear, getting on the gear. But why though? I don't understand. I don't get why. I mean, even now, TikTok seems to glamorize it. You know, in certain way. Yeah, of course it does. In certain ways, without saying what it is. But
Ah.
have you seen that green tub that everyone's buying at the moment? That Thai inhaler thing. And someone
No.
was saying if you've had a heavy weekend on the I can't remember what he said, but they call it packet or sniff or Charlie or Luke or marching powder, all that jazz. You know, Colombian marching powder. When I used to hear it. I just don't know. I mean, I'd like to know what it was about, what fascinated people into it, or how it became about. Because you know, like when raves are about and people used to do pills. Well, I remember.
Ecstasy,
I remember going to raves and people saying like it just makes you have a mental time. You'll have a mental experience.
How can you dance hardcore rave music for fucking 20 hours non-stop without being on pills? Your body can't physically do it.
People used to do it, but then apparently that's a lot of people used to die because your brain would be telling you you're not. People die of dehydration and things like that because they just go in for hours and your brain would be telling you different things and people would have heart attacks because the
body's shutting down, but your brain's like, no, you're fine, and you whistle, happy hardcore.
I don't understand how people can listen to a 10-minute tune and just dance, like just the same, just back and forth. But then again, I guess that was a whole underworld scene. You know, back in the days of like illegal raves, and that was a more northern thing, like Hacienda and all those lot, when smiley face crews were about, and and people were going to people just going to raves before they went to Ibiza and in warehouses, because that's all they had to do. They'd get a load of pills, load of speakers, shed load of booze and whatever.
Get some DJs.
Go. Not even that. Some of them were just banging on a shit DJ with a load of records. You know what I mean? Go to a fucking abandoned warehouse on an industrial estate. Pay somebody to say, listen, can we have it for the night? Right? All these people are going to come turn up, because I remember seeing a film years ago where they used to bust up like those
illegal raves on farmers' fields and stuff. Yeah,
but they had like doormen and stuff. They had doormen and they were organised events.
Terry Stone was one of them.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, he organised raves. He used to work for like the Rave magazine and that, and then he was selling tickets to raves because he got him and his mates in for free if you sold tickets. So he decided that he would just put on his own rave and he'd get all the money instead. And that's how he became fucking massive in the rave scene. Yeah.
Has he got a podcast about this? I've not heard his story.
Well, he's on. I listened to him on Liam Tuff's The Dozen podcast. He was on it. Okay. So that's when I first heard of Terry Stone. So I listened to that. And now I listen to his Criminal Connection podcast, where he's got all of the old criminals and that over the years on. And sometimes he talks about his clubbing days. Depends who he's talking to, that maybe in the same sort of scene that he's interviewing at the time. But yeah, we should get Terry Stone on.
Let's do it. Go on, Terry. Come and give us some knowledge.
He's on TikTok.
He's always on the tickers.
Yeah, he does his little shows and that on there. Maybe we should try and get him on.
Absolutely. Why not? Love a little chat. But it's more just to pick the brains of somebody in that era, because obviously it wasn't my era.
No, not really mine either. I mean, I used to listen to I used to buy the tapes from Spinner Disc, like the Dreamscape cassettes. Yeah, when they used to have you used to go upstairs and you'd have all the rave stuff and the Helter Skelter and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
At Bletchley in Milton Keynes, they were.
In that time, my kind of music back then was like the early days of Mike Skinner and the Streets.
Yeah.
That was my vibe of music back then. And Mike Skinner was all about, I mean, he was pills and Charlie and weed and all that, but his lyrics, and I like the beats,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I used to love this. I used to be able to listen to a Streets album.
What was that song? Blinded by the Lights, wasn't it? When he was having too much gear and then he ended up losing his wife and kids and stuff.
Yeah, that was later on.
Yeah.
Like original pirate material.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to love. It was just like a weird sort of, I don't know, weird time. That, do you know, you get time nostalgia and you go back. I think TikTok has got a lot to blame for time nostalgia, because people replay memories in your brain over videos where someone will be wearing, going, do you remember these shoes? Do you remember this jacket? And
Yeah.
I'll be like, and I can remember where I was at that time, you know, and all that nostalgia comes back to you, and then it makes you fucking really miss time when times are really simple.
Yeah, the toys you had, the shops you went in, the music you listened to, and it like ignites in your brain, and all your memories start flooding back, and it's like, oh my god.
I've told you one of my biggest things is my senses, is that I can smell when I get nostalgia, and I can smell certain times in my life of mainly kind of what aftershave I used to wear, because my aftershave would change all the time. So if it's an aftershave I've not smelled in a long time and I smell it, I'll be going, fuck me, I know where exactly it was. Or even it's a cooking smell. If I smell a food that I used to really like or something.
Yeah.
But I remember, so all these nostalgia videos that keep coming up, and like, so I've been into music my entire life, and I'll go from anywhere from Jimi Hendrix to drum and bass to the Streets to classical music. Do you know what I mean? I like everything in terms of music. So my music taste, I mean, people can look at my music on my phone. It is the weirdest. It's the weird. You've got country music next to Sam Cooke, next to, you know, Professor Green and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I always love music. So being at all day, live music. I love live music. I love seeing music live. But then, anyway, going back to criminal side of things, one of the fascinating criminal things is really fascinating me at the moment is have you seen a lot of these bike thieves in London that basically they're on the black electric e-bikes basically, and they're all dressed in black, and they'll go around and steal phones and watches and whatever. Like, again, that's technically gangland, you know what I mean? It's a criminal in the world. Must be quite lucrative, because they're riding around on these £5,000 bikes, stealing, I don't know, Rolexes or whatever. And it was only fascinating because I seen a video the other day basically saying that people don't wear watches and stuff in London.
No, not in London anymore. No.
Yeah, and people are very wary about what they take out with them and that sort of stuff. And I'm like, so again, because there's always a movie about some form of crime, and I was like, I'd love to see. You know, we've seen a lot of. Do you remember obviously when London? That was what, late 2008 maybe. Do you remember films like? What was the film Kidulthood?
Yeah.
When that came out.
With Captain America. Noel Clark.
Yes.
He's Captain America now.
Yeah, but again, like that side of London, you know, and the side of London people don't talk about, you know, like places like, I don't know,
the poor estates, the old block of flats with the gangs.
I used to like those films because those.
Yeah.
The common denominator about these films is that
it happened. Reality.
These are all real stories. These are real people, and they're not all doing it for the glamoured lifestyle. Some of them are doing it because they don't see another way out. No. And that's the thing that I thought about the other day is these people on these bikes and whatever going around London, and like, because I've seen basically they hop up onto a curb, they drive past someone that's got a phone in their hand, and they literally don't even look. They're literally like that. They don't even look.
People in taxis, in cars, in traffic, and they're on their phones and the windows open, and they just put their hand in and grab it.
Oh, not like that guy that goes around filming people in London on his bike. You know, people like, he got a taxi driver the other day. A taxi driver was texting. I think he's called something. He goes around and basically films them and goes, 6 points that, 6 points that.
Oh, no, I've not seen that person.
Oh, okay, I'm going to say he's like, he just goes up, but he's really arrogant about it. Really arrogant. And I know people shouldn't do it, whatever. All right? Don't get caught. Don't get caught texting at wheel. You shouldn't text at wheel because, you know, you will kill someone doing it. But he'll go up to them. They'll be sat in traffic and he'll go up to them and he'll go, 6 points that you're on your phone. And he videos them in their face, gets the registration plate, Oh mate, I'll
What a
tag you.
grass.
I'll tag you in a video after this. But he's a fucking arsehole. He just like, I'm like, he's going out his way to do it. He's going out his way. But then I do get his side of doing it. Is how many cyclists in London die every year because people are not. Have you driven in London? Have you driven in central London?
Yes, once near Aldwych Station. Is it the Old Bank? Is that in London?
Yeah.
That area. I was driving in London when the Paris attacks happened. Do you remember, with the machine guns when they went around London? I was underground at the time, and we came out and we saw police everywhere. We had no idea. It was like 1 a.m. We had no idea what was going on, and obviously underground you didn't have signal on your phone, so you come out and you look on your phone and it's like, oh my god, like Paris has been attacked, machine guns, people going around killing everybody. And we saw police everywhere in London. It's like, oh my god, we need to get out of London in case it's going to happen here. So yeah, we had to go find the car and get out fucking sharpish.
I envy anybody. I mean, I haven't driven in London. I haven't even been close, I don't think, to drive into London. No, I mean, closest I've fucking probably been is fucking Heathrow.
I used to drive my van through London on the odd occasion when I was van driving.
Fuck that, a van.
Yeah.
People in London, they drive. If you can drive in London, I think you can drive anywhere.
It's not worth driving London though. You might as well fucking walk. Or get a fucking voice scooter or something.
That's again another thing. Why are people driving supercars around? That is, do you know what? That's twat mentality. That is twat mentality. If you've got a Lambo and you're driving it through the streets of London, you're a dickhead. Because that's what they call new money. New money people do that.
Yeah, showing off before they realise.
Why? You know, why? Why have you got a big off-road 4x4 driving through the centre of London? What are you going to do? Mount a curb?
Well, have you seen? I keep seeing videos on TikTok of Gordon Ramsay's new fucking £4 million supercar that he's got. It keeps coming out of like hotels and restaurants and stuff. He's parked on the road. Obviously, he's probably got security watching his car. It's white, and I can't remember what car it is. It's like £4 million, and it keeps getting.
Aston Martin, isn't it?
Possibly, I'm not sure what it is. And it's like, I mean, it is at night, so maybe it's easier to drive at night. I don't know.
He's Gordon Ramsay. He came. I mean,
less traffic.
Yeah, let him do it, man. He's earned his title. But then again, like, why are people not stealing cars in London? Like, people are stealing watches and phones and handbags.
Easy. It's small, isn't it? Easy to get rid of, I suppose. It's difficult to get rid of a fucking massive car.
That's what I mean, right? These let's call them these lads on these electric bikes that are literally doing it. They're literally all dressed in black bikes. You know,
Bally's on. Yeah.
They're quite inconspicuous. They can literally be on a road into an alleyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'd like to see a film about. This is my point. I'd like to see a film about that side of things and how people are doing it, and because I don't know. Again, fascinates me. They're not doing. These people are doing it because they've clearly got no other choice. That's the way that I see it, anyway. People go, no, they're doing it for this or whatever, but they're doing it for a reason. And crime, again, people, I think, crime that involves money, you know, it's one of them things, I guess.
Yeah, but they're obviously not victimless crimes. These are people's possessions that they're being stealing. You could get PTSD from this this assault. You know, someone pulls a knife for you in the street, you're gonna remember that shit. And if you get followed anywhere in shops again after that incident, you could be thinking the same. Oh, I'm gonna get robbed again. You could end up not going out.
That's the thing,
you know,
because that side of fear is real. I remember.
Too scared, yeah.
I mean, it's happened. I mean, I've seen it firsthand in front of me, where I've seen people. Do you know where you're in a club and you might barge past somebody or like, and people just look at you. You know, their instinct is to especially if blokes have had a drink, their instinct is just to react. And it's like, I've had a drink, I'm invincible. And that's why I don't like alcohol, is because I see people believe that about themselves. I've seen it in, stood behind a bar, and I've seen blokes that will come in as friends and they'll leave, fucking kicking the fuck out of each other. But I just, it doesn't end well, does it? The fear of, like you said, of people that live in fear.
After an incident, something that's happened. It probably doesn't leave them for a very long time, if at all. Will they get therapy, to deal with it?
I remember when I first ever, I was a glass collector at 16. I worked in a very busy pub. And it was Saturday nights, you could not move in this pub. And I remember I was collecting glass, I had a big stack of pint glasses. And I remember seeing the bloke next to me get glassed in the face. And I remember just seeing it from impact to watching these little slits everywhere just pour out. And then it happens. It's like that. It happens and the place just erupts. And then, there is so much trauma after it. But I remember thinking about it for weeks. I remember really thinking about it, thinking, it's really affecting me. It affected me really bad. Because I was like, I remember I'd never seen the bloke again. But I was like, is he okay? What happened to him? But I remember seeing the other guy come in the following week, and no one said a thing.
What, that did it?
The guy that did it. The guy that did it was a regular, and he'd come in all the time.
Oh wow!
And no one said nothing. No one said. No one was like, "You." Do you know, like when there used to be something called, I don't know, it's still a thing. There used to be something called pub watch, where if you're banned from pubs, you'd go on this poster, and you'd basically be on the wall in the pub that you're not allowed in pubs. But I remember seeing so people used to end up on there for like attacks or violence or drugs or knives or. But I remember somebody coming in with a baseball bat once, coming into the pub swinging a baseball bat. And I was like, "Is this normal?" Because I was 16 at the time. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what life was about back then. I know what young people are about and fucking.
How much were you getting paid at this point for that? Your job?
Oh, so I used to do Friday night, Saturday night, and I think I used to get £73 a week, so about 35 quid a shift.
So a few quid an hour then, not much.
Yeah, no, nothing.
So if it all kicked off and you're not fucking getting involved with that for £6 an hour, are you? Fuck no. Exactly.
We didn't even have door staff either, because it was the first pub. It's the first pub at the top of the road, top of the Welly Road. On the left-hand side, 2 doors down from the designer clothes store.
Fuck knows. Can't you say?
Yeah, I suppose I can. The Phipps.
Figgin and Phipps, whatever it's called. Yeah. I used to go in there. Yeah. Yeah, it was alright in there. Very, very loud. Lots of people in there. Yeah, always busy. Yeah, I used to watch football in there. Yeah.
So I lived literally round the corner from there.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
It was my first house. I lived around the corner from there. So it was just, I don't know. For me, I was young. It was my first. It was my second job or first job. It was my first job. And all I wanted to do was work. I just wanted to work. I never minded it. I used to go in at 7 and finish at 11:45. So it wasn't anything. It was going in, collecting glasses, clean tables. You know what I mean? Go around, put the stools back, and all that jazz. Clean the fag butts out of the smoker's room, all that stuff. And everyone I worked with was great. But I seen a different side to. I don't know. I seen a different side to adults at that point. Was people would come in and I'd see them. I remember I seen a couple of old school teachers came in. So that was weird because I used to be like, you say hello. And then I seen like friends' parents come in and then I used to see the drug side of things where people would come in and, people even smoke. They had a tiny, do you remember this? You didn't smoke, so there's a tiny smoking area at the back near the toilets. So there used to be this tiny little smoking area out the back and people used to go smoke out there. but people used to get in fights out there, you know, drug deals, and I don't know, it was crazy. So going from being a glass catcher as a kid, I left that job because I didn't like even the boss at the time. He was definitely on the gear, and it was like he let everything slide, slide. You know, so I went from there, and then obviously I came back to a pub and club a few years later working, and then when you're behind the bar and you're getting people waving money in your face because it's that busy, and they just wave it. Do you know what I used to do? So I used to, when the pub used to be absolutely rammed, I used to work in the Charles Bradlaugh. The pub used to be absolutely rammed. I think they'd have like certain nights where it'd be heaving. I used to walk past and people that used to wave money, I used to just take it. I used to walk off with it. And then come back a few minutes later and go, yeah, what did you want? They're like, you took my money. I'm like, yeah, I know. You got to wait like everybody else. But people used to get aggressive. I remember so many times things getting heated in the pub, especially being behind a bar when you're sober and they're not, because you're trying to be logical with them, but they think you're being rude. Or when you start to cut people off and say, you can't. My boss would say, don't serve him anymore. He's had too many. You've got to tell that person, no, like, I can't serve you. They lose their shit real quick. Or when you suspect somebody that obviously, you know, you'd know people that are going to the toilets because they're going to the toilets all the time. They come back, they're constantly rubbing their nose and all that. So then you'd know it'd kick off. We had doormen there, and they were like on it all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's a license, isn't it? It needs a license.
But then the doorman used to do it.
Yeah.
I remember a doorman that was a good friend of mine, and he literally, you could just tell by the look on his face that he's having way too good of a night for being at work till 3 a.m. But yeah.
Crime. It's an interesting subject.
It can go on, right? You could discuss the topic for ages.
Yeah.
You know.
Crime is never ending.
Hey, have you seen the new the new Strangers on Amazon?
Oh, the weird horror film.
Yeah.
No, I saw the first one with you. Then there's the second one. There's a third one now. Then.
Yeah, well, no, it's the big.
And there a TV series about it, no?
When it's not, it's a film. It's a film, but it's
okay.
One. But it's a very, very good introduction about how the Strangers came about. So recommendation for you there.
Okay, I have to have a look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, on that note, Mickey and I discuss crime. Like we said, anything we discuss in our podcast today is only our opinion on what we're discussing. It's not meant to upset or offend anybody. We're just two blokes having a chat, and that's it. Sayonara, deuces, fuck off.